Stop believing every thought that enters your mind. Your biggest enemy is not failure. It is not other people. It is not your circumstances. It is the voice inside your head that constantly tells you that you're not ready, not capable, not smart enough, and not good enough. That voice has stolen more dreams than poverty, rejection, or bad luck ever could. Today, you're going to expose every lie your mind has been telling you, destroy the mental chains holding you back, and replace them with a mindset that creates unstoppable people. Your life changes the moment you stop believing every thought you think. Chapter 1. Your mind is not always telling you the truth. Part 1. Stop believing every thought that enters your mind. Read that again. Stop believing every thought that enters your mind. That single decision can change your entire life. Most people spend their lives trapped inside a prison they cannot see. The walls are not made of steel. They're made of thoughts. Thoughts that say, you can't. You're not ready. You'll fail. People will laugh at you. You're too late. You'll never change. The frightening part is this. Most people never question these thoughts. They simply believe them. And once you believe a lie long enough, it begins to feel like the truth. Listen carefully. Your mind is an incredible tool, but it is also an unreliable narrator. It does not exist to make you successful. It exists to keep you comfortable. Comfort was useful when survival was the goal. But comfort becomes dangerous when growth is the goal. Your brain constantly asks one question. How can I stay safe? Not, how can I become extraordinary? That is why your mind exaggerates risk. It magnifies uncertainty. It predicts failure before you even begin. It whispers excuses that sound reasonable. And if you never question those whispers, you become their prisoner. Your mind is lying to you. Repeat those words. Your mind is lying to you. Not every thought deserves your belief. Not every emotion deserves your obedience. Not every fear deserves your attention. Thoughts are not facts. Thoughts are mental events. Nothing more. Nothing less. Imagine standing beside a busy highway. Thousands of cars pass every hour. Do you chase every car? Of course not. You simply watch them pass. Your thoughts work the same way. They come. They go. Some are useful. Many are not. But the moment you jump into every passing thought, you lose control of your direction. Silent winners understand this. They observe their thoughts. They do not become them. There is a powerful difference between saying, I failed, and saying, I am a failure. One describes an event. The other creates an identity. Your mind loves turning temporary experiences into permanent labels. One rejection becomes, no one will ever believe in me. One mistake becomes, I always ruin everything. One setback becomes, my life will never improve. These are not facts. These are stories, and stories can be rewritten. Listen carefully. Your life follows the story you repeatedly tell yourself. If your story is, I'm unlucky, you stop looking for opportunities. If your story is, I'm not smart enough, you stop learning. If your story is, I never finish anything, you stop trying before you've truly begun. The mind always searches for evidence to support what it already believes. Believe you are weak, and your brain will collect proof. Believe you are capable, and your brain begins searching for opportunities instead. That is why awareness changes everything. You cannot change what you refuse to notice. Most people spend years trying to change their circumstances. Very few people stop to examine the thoughts creating those circumstances. The battle is not outside you. It is inside you. Every morning your mind presents you with choices. Stay in bed, or get up, scroll your phone, or build your future. Make excuses, or make progress. The voice that chooses comfort will always speak first. Why? Because comfort requires no effort. Growth does. Your mind would rather protect today's comfort than create tomorrow's success. Do not let it. Question it. Every single time. When your mind says, you can't, ask, says who? When it says, you're not ready, ask, what evidence do I actually have? When it says, you'll fail, ask, what if I succeed? That one habit changes everything. Because questions interrupt automatic thinking. Questions expose lies. Questions create awareness. And awareness creates freedom. Remember that. Awareness creates freedom. The moment you become aware of a limiting thought, you're no longer controlled by it. You have a choice. Believe it or challenge it. Silent winners challenge it. Every day, every hour, every decision, they understand that the mind is like a muscle. Leave it undisciplined, and it becomes weak. Train it daily, and it becomes your greatest strength. Most people train their bodies more than they train their minds. That is backwards. Everything begins in the mind. Every achievement, every failure, every habit, every decision, every relationship, everything. When the battle in your mind and the battles outside become easier, lose the battle in your mind. And even small challenges feel impossible. Think about how many opportunities people miss because of thoughts that were never true. Businesses never started. Books never written. Dreams never pursued. Conversations never had. Lives never fully lived. Not because people lacked ability, because they believed a thought that was lying to them. How many dreams has your mind already stolen? How many chances have you abandoned because fear sounded like truth? How many times have you mistaken comfort for wisdom? Be honest, because honesty is where transformation begins. You cannot defeat an enemy you refuse to identify. Today, you are identifying that enemy. It is not the world. It is not your past. It is not other people. It is the unchallenged voice inside your own head. And from this moment forward, you stop accepting everything it says as truth. You become the observer, not the prisoner. You become the thinker, not the thought, because your mind should work for you, not against you. And mastering that relationship is the beginning of an extraordinary life. Chapter 1. Your mind is not always telling you the truth. The greatest deception your mind ever creates is making you believe that you are your thoughts. You are not. Read that again. You're not your thoughts. You are the person who observes them. That difference changes everything. Clouds pass across the sky. The sky remains. Thoughts pass through your mind. Your awareness remains. Do not confuse the two. Most people never learn this lesson. They wake up feeling anxious. Immediately they think, I'm an anxious person. No, anxiety is an emotion. It is not your identity. They experience failure. Immediately they think, I'm a failure. No, failure is an event. It is not your identity. Your mind constantly tries to turn temporary emotions into permanent identities. Do not allow it. Challenge it. Every single time. Listen carefully. Your brain is designed to remember negative experiences more than positive ones. This is called a survival mechanism. Thousands of years ago, remembering danger helped human beings survive. Today, that same mechanism often works against you. One criticism can erase 10 compliments. One mistake can overshadow 100 victories. One failure can make you forget years of progress. Your mind naturally magnifies what is wrong. That does not mean what it says is true. Your mind is lying to you. Repeat it. Your mind is lying to you. That inner voice is often speaking from fear, not from reality. Fear always sounds convincing. It whispers, "What if everything goes wrong?" Rarely does it ask, "What if everything goes right?" That is why you must train yourself to think differently, not through blind optimism, through honest awareness. Ask yourself, what evidence actually supports this thought? If the evidence is weak, stop treating the thought like a fact. Imagine someone constantly lying to you. Eventually, you would stop trusting them. Do the same with your negative thinking. Stop giving automatic trust to every fearful thought. Earn your own belief through evidence, not emotion. Silent winners understand this. They separate feelings from facts. They may feel uncertain, but they continue. They may feel afraid, but they still act. They may feel uncomfortable, but they refuse to surrender because they know something powerful. Action exposes the lies your mind tells you. The mind says, "You can't." Action replies, "I just did." The mind says, "You're too weak." Action replies, "I became stronger." The mind says, "It is impossible." Action quietly proves otherwise. This is why confidence never comes before action. Confidence follows evidence. Every promise you keep to yourself becomes evidence. Every difficult task you complete becomes evidence. Every fear you overcome becomes evidence. Soon your mind has no choice but to change its story, because reality becomes stronger than fear. Listen carefully. Your internal dialogue becomes your external life. If you constantly tell yourself, "I'll never succeed," your behavior slowly matches that belief. If you repeatedly tell yourself, "I solve problems, I keep my promises, I finish what I start," your actions begin matching that identity. Identity always comes before lasting transformation. Change the story. Change the identity. Change the life. Every morning, before the world fills your mind with noise, remind yourself of 4 truths. Thoughts are not facts. Fear is not reality. Awareness creates freedom. I control my mind. Repeat them daily. Not once. Every day. Because repetition rewires belief. The strongest beliefs in your life were not created overnight. They were repeated until they became automatic. You can use the same process to build stronger beliefs. Your mind has been practicing limitation for years. Now it is time to practice strength. Most people practice fear without realizing it. They replay worst-case scenarios. Repeat painful memories. Imagine future failures. They rehearse defeat every single day. Then they wonder why they lack confidence. Practice courage instead. Visualize yourself acting. Visualize yourself staying calm. Visualize yourself finishing difficult tasks. Train your mind before life tests you. Athletes do it. Elite performers do it. Silent winners do it. They prepare internally before they perform externally. Remember this. The quality of your life is determined by the quality of the questions you ask yourself. Stop asking, "Why am I like this?" Start asking, "What can I improve today?" Stop asking, "What if I fail?" Start asking, "What if I grow?" Stop asking, "Why does this always happen to me?" Start asking, "What lesson is this trying to teach me?" Questions direct attention. Attention directs action. Action creates results. Everything begins with a better question. Your future depends less on your circumstances and more on your interpretation of those circumstances. Two people can experience the same setback. One gives up, the other grows stronger. The event was identical. The mindset was different. That is the power of interpretation, and that power belongs to you. Not your past, not society, not luck. You, from this moment forward, become the observer of your thoughts. Become the guardian of your attention. Become the master of your internal dialogue. Do not believe every fear. Do not obey every emotion. Do not surrender to every excuse. Question them. Challenge them. Defeat them through action. Remember today's lesson. Your mind is not always telling you the truth. Thoughts are not facts. Awareness creates freedom. You control your mind, not the other way around. Master this lesson, and you will begin to see opportunities where you once saw obstacles. You will begin to see growth where you once saw fear. You will begin to see possibility where you once saw limitation. Because once you stop believing every lie your mind tells you, you become dangerous to mediocrity. You become impossible to control. You become free. But there is one lie your mind tells more often than any other. It predicts disasters that never happen. It convinces you to fear a future that does not exist. That is the next battle. Chapter 2. Stop believing fear before it happens. Fear has one mission: to stop you before you even begin. Not by force, not by facts, by imagination. Listen carefully. Your mind is capable of creating problems that do not exist. It invents conversations that never happen. It predicts failures that never arrive. It builds disasters out of possibilities. Then it convinces you they are real. That is why your mind is lying to you. Most people are not defeated by reality. They are defeated by the story they create about reality. Read that again. Most people are not defeated by reality. They are defeated by the story they create about reality. Think about how many dreams have died because of imagined fear. A business that was never started. A book that was never written. A skill that was never learned. A conversation that was never had. Not because success was impossible. Because fear sounded convincing. Fear always speaks with confidence. It says, what if you fail? What if people laugh at you? What if you're not good enough? What if you lose everything? Notice something. Fear always begins with what if. It lives in the future, never in the present. The present moment is where action lives. Fear lives in imagination. That is why silent winners stay present. They ask, what can I do today? Not, what terrible thing might happen tomorrow? Listen carefully. Your brain is designed to protect you from danger, but it cannot always tell the difference between real danger and imagined discomfort. Speaking in front of people feels dangerous. Starting a business feels dangerous. Changing careers feels dangerous. Having a difficult conversation feels dangerous. But none of those situations are life-threatening. Your mind simply interprets uncertainty as danger. Do not confuse discomfort with danger. Growth is uncomfortable. That does not make it dangerous. Repeat those words. Growth is uncomfortable. That does not make it dangerous. Every successful person has felt fear. Every leader, every entrepreneur, every athlete, every author, every high performer. The difference is simple. Average people obey fear. Silent winners acknowledge fear. Then keep moving. Fear is not a stop sign. It is a test. A test asking one question. How badly do you want the life you say you want? Most people answer by turning around. Silent winners answer by taking another step. Listen carefully. Confidence is not the absence of fear. Confidence is evidence collected through action. You become confident after doing difficult things, not before. Stop waiting to feel fearless. You will wait forever. Move while you are afraid. Speak while your voice shakes. Start before you feel ready, because readiness is built through action, not through waiting. The biggest mistake people make is believing that fear disappears first. It doesn't. Action comes first. Fear becomes smaller afterward. Imagine standing at the edge of a cold swimming pool. The longer you stand there thinking, the colder the water feels, the more frightening it becomes. But the moment you jump in, your mind begins adapting. Life works exactly the same way. Thinking multiplies fear. Action reduces it. Remember that. Thinking multiplies fear. Action reduces it. That is why overthinking is one of fear's greatest weapons. The mind analyzes, reanalyzes, creates new problems, creates new excuses, creates new reasons to wait. Days become weeks. Weeks become months. Months become years. Nothing changes. Not because opportunity disappeared, because action never happened. Silent winners refuse to live that way. They make decisions. Then they improve along the way. Perfection is not required. Movement is. Listen carefully. Fear also lies about failure. It tells you failure is the end. It isn't. Failure is information. Failure is education. Failure is feedback. The only real failure is refusing to try. Every successful person carries invisible failures. Businesses that failed, ideas that failed, projects that failed, plans that failed. Those failures became teachers, not enemies. Your mind wants to protect your pride, but protecting your pride often destroys your potential. Stop trying to avoid embarrassment. Start trying to build experience. Experience creates wisdom. Wisdom creates confidence. Confidence creates results. Everything begins with action. Remember this. The life you want exists on the other side of temporary discomfort, not permanent pain. Temporary discomfort. One difficult phone call. One difficult workout. One difficult decision. One difficult beginning. That is all. Your future is asking for courage, not perfection. Courage means acting while fear is present, not waiting until fear disappears. Listen carefully. Ask yourself this question every day. Is this fear protecting me or limiting me? Real danger deserves caution. Imaginez le danger deserve action. Learn the difference. It will change your life. Silent winners train themselves to recognize fear without surrendering to it. They understand that every meaningful goal comes with uncertainty. That uncertainty is not proof you should stop. It is proof you're growing. Every level of success requires a new level of courage. You cannot become extraordinary while demanding constant comfort. Comfort creates average lives. Courage creates extraordinary lives. Never forget that. Every time you act despite fear, you send a powerful message to your mind. I am in control. Not fear, not doubt, not excuses. Me. That message grows stronger every single day. Soon your mind begins believing a different story. A story built on evidence, not imagination, because action always speaks louder than fear. And once you learn to move despite fear, you become someone that excuses can no longer control. But fear has another powerful ally. It disguises itself as logic. It tells you to wait for the perfect time, the perfect plan, the perfect opportunity. That deception is even more dangerous. Fear has one final trick. It disguises hesitation as wisdom. It tells you, wait a little longer. You're not ready yet. You need more experience. You should learn a little more before you begin. At first, those thoughts sound intelligent. They sound responsible. But listen carefully. Preparation has a finish line. Perfection does not. Most people are not preparing. They are hiding behind planning, hiding behind research, hiding behind another course, another book, another excuse. Your mind calls it preparation. In reality, it is fear wearing a mask. Your mind is lying to you. The perfect moment does not exist. The perfect opportunity does not exist. The perfect version of you does not exist. There is only today. There is only this decision. There is only this moment. Silent winners understand this. They do not wait for certainty. They create certainty through action. Every step forward teaches something. Every mistake reveals a lesson. Every challenge develops strength. That is how confidence is built. Not by thinking, by doing. Listen carefully. Fear grows in inactivity. The longer you wait, the stronger fear becomes. The longer you hesitate, the more convincing your excuses sound. Your imagination becomes louder. Your courage becomes quieter. Break that cycle immediately. Move, even if the step is small. One phone call, one page written, one workout completed, one difficult conversation. Small actions destroy big fears. Remember that. Small actions destroy big fears. People often believe courage is something extraordinary. It is not. Courage is choosing progress over comfort. Again and again and again. Every courageous decision rewrites your identity. Your mind begins collecting new evidence. I spoke even though I was nervous. I started even though I doubted myself. I survived something I thought would destroy me. That evidence becomes confidence. Confidence becomes momentum. Momentum becomes transformation. This is why action is so powerful. It changes the story your mind tells you. Most fears disappear the moment reality replaces imagination. Think about the things you feared years ago. Many of them never happened. The rest were never as terrible as your mind predicted. Fear always exaggerates. Reality is usually much smaller. That is why you must stop borrowing pain from the future. Live today. Work today. Improve today. Tomorrow will take care of itself. Listen carefully. Your future self is watching every decision you make. Every time you choose courage, you become someone your future self will thank. Every time you surrender to fear, you delay the life you deserve. Ask yourself one question whenever fear appears. What would the strongest version of me do right now? Then do that. Not tomorrow. Now. Because courage is built in moments. One moment, one decision, one action. That is all it takes. Fear also wants you to believe that failure is permanent. It is not. Failure is temporary. Quitting is permanent. If you fall, stand up. If you lose, learn. If you are rejected, improve. Nothing has meaning until you give it meaning. Silent winners never ask, "Why did this happen to me?" They ask, "What can this teach me?" That question turns pain into progress. It turns setbacks into stepping stones. It turns fear into fuel. Remember this. The goal is not to eliminate fear. The goal is to become bigger than it. A courageous person still feels fear. A disciplined person still feels doubt. A successful person still faces uncertainty. The difference is that they refuse to let those emotions make their decisions. They move anyway. That is what separates ordinary people from extraordinary people. Ordinary people wait until they feel confident. Extraordinary people act until confidence catches up. Never wait for motivation. Never wait for certainty. Never wait for permission. The world belongs to people who are willing to begin before they feel ready. Every great achievement started with someone taking an uncertain first step. Your first step may not be perfect. It does not need to be. It only needs to exist. Because action creates clarity. Movement creates momentum. Momentum creates belief. Belief creates transformation. That is the psychology of fearless growth. Remember today's lesson. Fear predicts. Actium probas. Your mind is lying to you when it tells you to wait forever. Question every fearful thought. Challenge every limiting belief. Move before you feel ready. Because courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is the decision that your future matters more than your comfort. Master this lesson, and fear will no longer control your direction. It will simply become another voice you choose not to obey. But your mind has one more powerful weapon. It creates excuses that sound intelligent. It convinces you that comfort is logical. It tells you that tomorrow is a better day to begin. That is the next lie you must destroy. Chapter 3. Your excuses are disguised as logic. Your biggest obstacle is not a lack of opportunity. It is not a lack of talent. It is not a lack of intelligence. It is the excuse you keep calling logic. Listen carefully. Excuses are dangerous because they rarely sound like excuses. They sound reasonable. They sound responsible. They sound intelligent. Your mind says, I'll start when I have more time. I need to learn a little more. I'll begin next Monday. I'm waiting for the perfect opportunity. I'll do it when life becomes less stressful. Those sentences feel harmless, but they are not harmless. They are delays, and delayed action slowly becomes a delayed life. Your mind is lying to you. Repeat those words. Your mind is lying to you. The truth is simple. There will always be another reason to wait. Another challenge. Another distraction. Another excuse. If you keep waiting for perfect conditions, you will spend your entire life waiting. Silent winners understand something that average people never do. Action creates better conditions. Waiting rarely does. Most people think successful people had the perfect beginning. They didn't. They started with uncertainty. They started with doubt. They started before they felt qualified. The difference is that they refused to negotiate with comfort. Comfort is a master negotiator. It never says, quit forever. It says, just take today off. Skip one workout. Start tomorrow. One more hour won't matter. That is how discipline disappears. Not all at once. One decision at a time. One excuse at a time. One compromise at a time. Listen carefully. Every excuse protects today's comfort, while stealing tomorrow's success. Read that again. Every excuse protects today's comfort, while stealing tomorrow's success. Read that again. Every excuse protects today's comfort, while stealing tomorrow's success. The problem is not that excuses exist. The problem is that your mind rewards them. The moment you create an excuse, you feel temporary relief. You no longer feel pressure. You no longer feel uncomfortable. Your brain likes that feeling. So it creates another excuse tomorrow. Then another. Then another. Soon excuses become habits. And habits become identity. You start believing, I'm just not disciplined. No, you practiced excuses more than discipline. Anything repeated becomes automatic. That includes procrastination. That includes self-doubt. That includes quitting, but also includes courage, consistency, discipline, focus. Choose carefully what you practice, because practice builds identity. Listen carefully. Your future does not care about your intentions. It responds to your actions. The world rewards execution, not potential. Potential is meaningless without action. Everyone has ideas. Everyone has dreams. Everyone has goals. Very few people execute consistently. That is why very few people achieve extraordinary results. Execution separates dreamers from builders. Silent winners are builders. They build habits. They build skills. They build character. They build discipline, brick by brick, day by day, without waiting for motivation. Most people believe motivation creates action. The opposite is usually true. Action creates motivation. Have you noticed that the hardest part of any task is beginning? Before the workout, you feel resistance. After 10 minutes, you feel stronger. Before opening the book, you feel lazy. After reading for 20 minutes, your focus improves. Before starting the project, your mind invents excuses. After working for 30 minutes, momentum takes over. The beginning is always the hardest because your mind wants to protect comfort. Never trust your feelings in the first 5 minutes of a difficult task. Your feelings are temporary. Your commitment must be permanent. Remember this. Feelings change. Standards remain. Silent winners build standards. Not moods. Not emotions. Not temporary excitement. Standards. A standard says, I train because that's who I am. Not, I train when I feel motivated. A standard says, I finish what I start. Not, I finish if it's easy. Identity creates consistency. Identity destroys excuses. Ask yourself every morning, what does a disciplined person do today? Then become that person. Not next month. Today. Listen carefully. There is another lie your mind tells. It says, you have plenty of time. That may be the most dangerous lie of all. Days become weeks. Weeks become months. Months become years. One day you wake up wondering where your potential went. It didn't disappear overnight. It disappeared through thousands of small delays. One excuse. One missed opportunity. One postponed decision. Time is always moving, whether you act or not. The clock does not stop because you are afraid. Life does not pause because you are uncertain. Your future is being built right now. With every decision you make, or refuse to make, remember the core lesson. Excuses sound intelligent. Comfort sounds logical. Delay feels safe. But none of them create the life you truly want. Only action does. Only discipline does. Only consistency does. Silent winners know this. That is why they stop negotiating with themselves. They make the decision. Then they honor it. Every single day. Because every promise you keep to yourself strengthens your character. Every promise you break weakens your self-respect. And nothing is more valuable than trusting yourself. Trust is built through action, not intention, not planning. Action. Excuses do not always sound weak. Sometimes they sound wise. That is why they are so dangerous. Your mind tells you, you need one more plan, one more course, one more video, one more week. It feels productive, but it is not progress. Knowledge without action becomes another form of procrastination. Remember this. Learning is valuable, but learning without execution changes nothing. The world is full of people who know exactly what they should do, but never do it. Do not become one of them. Your mind is lying to you. Every time it tells you, tomorrow, challenge it with one word. Today. Today is where change happens. Tomorrow is where excuses live. Listen carefully. Every successful person has mastered one simple habit. They stop arguing with themselves. The average person spends more energy debating whether to begin than actually doing the work. They negotiate. Maybe later. Maybe after lunch. Maybe next week. Silent winners make one decision. Then they move. No debate. No negotiation. No unnecessary thinking. Because they understand a powerful truth. The longer you argue with your mind, the stronger your excuses become. Decide quickly. Act immediately. Momentum is created through speed, not hesitation. Your mind also loves comparison. It whispers, they're ahead of you. They're smarter than you. They started earlier. So why even try? That is another lie. Someone else's progress has nothing to do with your potential. Comparison steals focus. Focus creates progress. Stop watching other people's lives. Start building your own. Every minute spent comparing is a minute stolen from improving. Remember the core message. Your only competition is the person you were yesterday. Become better than that person. Nothing else matters. Listen carefully. There will never be a day when discipline feels easy. That is why it is valuable. Anyone can work when they feel inspired. Very few people work when they feel tired. Anyone can stay focused when life is simple. Very few stay focused when life becomes difficult. Those few become extraordinary, not because they have more talent, because they have stronger standards. Raise your standards. Raise them so high that excuses no longer fit inside your life. When your standard is excellence, average behavior becomes uncomfortable. When your standard is discipline, procrastination becomes unacceptable. When your standard is integrity, breaking promises to yourself becomes impossible. Become that person, one decision at a time, one habit at a time, one disciplined day at a time. Do not underestimate small victories. Making your bed, reading 10 pages, completing one workout, keeping one promise. These seem ordinary, but ordinary actions repeated consistently create extraordinary people. Success is never built in one dramatic moment. It is built in thousands of invisible decisions. That is why silent winners respect small disciplines. They understand that small habits become powerful identities. Every disciplined action tells your mind, I am becoming someone stronger. Eventually, your mind stops resisting. It starts expecting discipline. That is how habits are formed, not through motivation, through repetition. Repeat discipline. Repeat courage. Repeat consistency until they become automatic. Listen carefully. There is one excuse you must eliminate forever. I don't feel like it. Your feelings are temporary. Your future is permanent. Never allow temporary emotions to make permanent decisions. Do the work anyway. Train anyway. Read anyway. Build anyway. Because action changes emotion, not the other way around. Some days you will feel unstoppable. Other days you will feel exhausted. Your standards must remain the same. That is what professionals do. They perform, regardless of emotion. Become a professional in your own life. Treat your goals like responsibilities, not hobbies. Responsibilities get completed. Hobbies get postponed. Choose responsibility. Every single day, remember today's lesson. Excuses are disguised as logic. Comfort is disguised as wisdom. Delay is disguised as preparation. Do not believe those disguises. Your mind is lying to you. Question every excuse. Challenge every delay. Replace hesitation with action, because action is the only language success understands. The moment you stop negotiating with comfort, you begin negotiating with greatness. And greatness always demands discipline. Master this lesson, and your excuses will slowly lose their power. You will stop waiting. You will stop overthinking. You will stop delaying your future. Instead, you will become the kind of person who acts, who finishes, who grows, who wins. But there is one final transformation that must happen. You cannot simply remove negative thoughts. You must replace them with stronger ones. That is how lasting change is created. Chapter 4. Reprogram your inner voice. Your life will never rise above the conversations you have with yourself. Read that again. Your life will never rise above the conversations you have with yourself. Every single day, there is a voice inside your mind. It never sleeps. It never stops talking. It comments on everything you do. It judges your decisions. It predicts your future. It defines your identity. The question is simple. Is that voice building you or destroying you? Listen carefully. Most people never choose their inner voice. They inherit it from parents, from teachers, from classmates, from failures, from criticism, from painful experiences. Someone once told them, "You're not smart enough. You'll never succeed. Be realistic. People like you don't become successful." Years later, the person who spoke those words is gone, but the voice remains. Now it speaks from inside your own mind. That is how limiting beliefs are born. Your mind is lying to you, not because it wants to hurt you, because it repeats what it has heard the most. Repetition creates belief. Belief creates identity. Identity creates behavior. Behavior creates your future. Everything begins with the words you repeatedly tell yourself. Think about it. If you wake up every morning saying, "I'm always tired. I'm unlucky. I'm not disciplined. I'm bad with money. I'm not confident," your mind begins searching for evidence to prove those statements true. Soon, you're living inside a story you accidentally created. Stop telling yourself stories that make you weaker. Start telling yourself stories that make you stronger. Not fantasy, not lies. Truth that builds you. Instead of saying, "I'm not disciplined," say, "I'm becoming more disciplined every day." Instead of saying, "I always quit," say, "I finish what I start." Instead of saying, "I'm afraid," say, "I act despite fear." Notice the difference. One creates limitation. The other creates possibility. Listen carefully. Your brain believes what you repeatedly feed it. That is why advertisements work. That is why propaganda works. That is why habits work. And that is why self-talk works. If the world understands the power of repetition, why aren't you using it to strengthen your own mind? Every morning, feed your mind truth before the world feeds it fear. Before social media, before the news, before distractions. Remind yourself who you are becoming, not who you used to be. Silent winners understand something extraordinary. Identity is not discovered. It is built, one decision at a time, one habit at a time, one thought at a time. Every disciplined action is a vote for the person you want to become. Every excuse is a vote for the person you're trying to leave behind. Choose your votes wisely, because identity is simply the result of repeated choices. Listen carefully. There is another dangerous habit. Speaking negatively about yourself as a joke. People say, "I'm so lazy. I'm terrible at this. I'm such an idiot." They laugh. But the subconscious mind is listening. It does not understand jokes. It understands repetition. Stop insulting yourself. Stop speaking weakness over your future. Speak with responsibility. Speak with confidence. Speak with intention. Your words become commands to your mind. Never forget that. Your words become commands to your mind. If you constantly command weakness, do not be surprised when weakness appears. Command strength instead. Command discipline. Command courage. Command patience. Because your identity follows your language. Listen carefully. Confidence is not something you find. Confidence is something you practice. Every promise you keep strengthens it. Every difficult task you complete strengthens it. Every challenge you survive strengthens it. Stop waiting to feel confident. Start collecting evidence. Confidence grows from proof. Not hope. Not wishes. Proof. Read one chapter. Complete one workout. Wake up when the alarm rings. Keep one promise. Then another. Then another. Soon your mind begins saying, "I trust this person." That person is you. Self-confidence is simply self-trust. And self-trust is earned, never given. The strongest people in the world trust themselves because they have spent years keeping promises to themselves. Become one of those people. Your future depends on it. Listen carefully. The voice inside your head will never become positive by accident. You must train it daily, relentlessly, intentionally, because an undisciplined mind naturally drifts toward fear, toward doubt, toward comfort. Training redirects it toward courage, toward growth, toward possibility. Remember today's lesson. You become what you repeatedly tell yourself. Your identity follows your inner voice, and your future follows your identity. So change the conversation, change the beliefs, change the habits, and you will change your life. Because the strongest voice you will ever hear is the one inside your own mind. Every great transformation begins with one sentence. I'm no longer that person. Say it again. I'm no longer that person. The person who always quit. The person who waited for motivation. The person who believed every fearful thought. The person who constantly doubted themselves. That version of you served its purpose. Now it's time to leave it behind. Listen carefully. Your identity is not your history. It is your daily decisions. Most people carry their past like a life sentence. Silent winners carry it like a lesson. There is a difference. Your past explains you. It does not define you. Stop introducing yourself to yourself through old failures. Stop saying, "I've always been this way." No, you have been practicing that way. And anything practiced can be replaced. Your mind is lying to you. It tells you people never change. History proves otherwise. Weak people become strong. Poor people become wealthy. Shy people become leaders. Undisciplined people become champions. What changed? Not luck, not talent, identity. They stopped repeating the old story. They started building a new one. Listen carefully. Every morning, before you begin your day, remind yourself of the person you are becoming. Not with empty motivation, with clear intention. Say to yourself, "I keep my promises. I finish difficult things. I stay calm under pressure. I control my emotions. I grow every single day. I do what needs to be done." Repeat these statements daily. Not because they magically change reality, because they influence your actions, and actions create reality. Remember this. Thoughts influence actions. Actions build habits. Habits shape identity. Identity creates destiny. Everything starts with the voice inside your mind. That voice must become your greatest coach, not your greatest critic. There is enough criticism in the world. Do not become another enemy to yourself. Become your own leader. Leaders do not insult themselves. Leaders correct themselves. If you make a mistake, do not say, "I am useless." Say, "I learned something valuable." If you fail, do not say, "I will never succeed." Say, "I now know one way that doesn't work." The event stays the same. The interpretation changes. An interpretation changes everything. Listen carefully. Successful people do not experience fewer negative thoughts. They simply refuse to build a home for them. A negative thought enters. They notice it, question it, replace it, then move forward. Average people replay it all day. Silent winners release it immediately. Do not give one negative thought permission to ruin an entire day. Guard your mind. Protect it. Because whatever enters your mind repeatedly eventually enters your life. Be careful what you watch. Be careful what you read. Be careful who you listen to. Be careful who you spend your time with. Your environment becomes your internal dialogue. If you constantly surround yourself with negativity, negativity becomes normal. If you surround yourself with growth, growth becomes normal. Choose your environment wisely, because your environment trains your inner voice. Listen carefully. There will be days when your old thinking returns. That is normal. Do not panic. Do not quit. Old habits always fight for survival. Simply return to the truth. Return to discipline. Return to awareness. Return to your standards. Every time you do, you strengthen your new identity. Transformation is repetition, not perfection. Some days you will win. Some days you will struggle. Keep repeating the process. Keep choosing better thoughts. Keep taking better actions. Eventually, your new identity becomes automatic. One day you will wake up and notice something extraordinary. The voice that once filled you with doubt now fills you with determination. The fear that once controlled you now motivates you. The excuses that once delayed you now sound weak. That is the reward of mental conditioning. Remember the core lesson. You're always programming your mind. The only question is whether you're doing it intentionally or accidentally. Program courage. Program discipline. Program responsibility. Program patience. Program resilience. Feed your mind the beliefs that produce the life you want. Because your future listens to the words you repeat today. Master your inner voice, and you begin mastering your entire life. But one final lesson remains. You can think differently. You can speak differently. You can build stronger habits. Yet none of it matters unless you become the master of your own mind. That is the highest level of transformation. It is where discipline, awareness, emotional control, and purposeful action become one. And that is exactly where we are going next. Chapter 5. Become the master of your mind. Master your mind, or your mind will master you. There is no middle ground. Every day, one of you is in control. Either you control your thoughts, or your thoughts control your life. Listen carefully. Everything you have learned in this audiobook leads to this moment. You discover that thoughts are not facts. You learn that fear predicts more than reality. You exposed excuses disguised as logic. You reprogrammed your inner voice. Now, there's only one step left. Become the master of your mind, because the quality of your life will never exceed the quality of your thinking. Read that again. The quality of your life will never exceed the quality of your thinking. Most people spend years trying to control the outside world. They try to control other people. They try to control circumstances. They try to control outcomes. But they never learn to control themselves. That is why they remain frustrated. The strongest person in the room is not the loudest, not the richest, not the most talented. The strongest person is the one who remains in control when everything around them is falling apart. That is mental mastery. Listen carefully. Life will always test you. Someone will criticize you. Someone will disappoint you. Plans will fail. Money may become tight. People will leave. Opportunities will disappear. Unexpected problems will arrive. You cannot control any of those things, but you can always control your response. That is your real power. Your response determines your future, not the event itself. The event is temporary. Your response becomes your identity. Silent winners understand this. They refuse to let temporary emotions create permanent damage. When anger appears, they pause. When fear appears, they breathe. When failure appears, they learn. When success appears, they remain humble. Emotional control is true strength. Anyone can stay calm when life is easy. Mastery begins when life becomes difficult. Listen carefully. Do not become a slave to your emotions. Emotions are valuable, but they are terrible leaders. They change every day, sometimes every hour. Imagine making every important decision based on your feelings. One day you feel motivated. The next day you feel lazy. One day you feel confident. The next day you feel insecure. If your emotions control your actions, your life will always be inconsistent. Silent winners do not ask, "How do I feel today?" They ask, "What must be done today?" Then they do it, whether they feel like it or not. That is discipline. Discipline is choosing your future over your feelings. Repeat that. Discipline is choosing your future over your feelings. Every time you make that choice, your mind becomes stronger. Every time you surrender to comfort, your mind becomes weaker. You're training your mind every single day. The question is, what are you training it to do? Listen carefully. A weak mind reacts. A strong mind responds. There is a difference. Reaction is automatic. Response is intentional. Someone insults you. A weak mind reacts with anger. A strong mind asks, "Does this deserve my energy?" Someone doubts your ability. A weak mind becomes discouraged. A strong mind becomes determined. Someone succeeds before you. A weak mind becomes jealous. A strong mind becomes inspired. The event stays the same. The mindset changes everything. Remember this. You cannot always choose what happens, but you always choose who you become because of it. That is freedom. Real freedom is not having a perfect life. Real freedom is refusing to let life control your mind. Listen carefully. Protect your attention. Your attention is your greatest asset. Where attention goes, energy follows. Where energy goes, results grow. If you constantly feed your mind negativity, negativity becomes your reality. If you constantly feed your mind growth, growth becomes your identity. Guard what enters your mind. Not everything deserves your attention. Not every argument deserves your response. Not every opinion deserves your concern. Not every distraction deserves your time. Protect your focus, because your focus creates your future. Most people lose because they're distracted. Silent winners win because they are focused. They understand that attention is a currency. Spend it wisely. Listen carefully. Mental mastery is built through daily discipline. Wake up with purpose. Read something that strengthens your thinking. Exercise your body. Train your mind. Keep your promises. Control your emotions. Protect your standards. Repeat tomorrow, then the next day, then the next. Mastery is not one extraordinary decision. It is thousands of ordinary decisions repeated consistently. That is why greatness looks boring. The same habits, the same discipline, the same commitment, again and again. While everyone else is searching for shortcuts, there are no shortcuts, only standards, only discipline, only consistency, only growth. Remember today's lesson. You are becoming the person your mind obeys, not the person your mind controls. That is the highest level of self-mastery. That is the beginning of an extraordinary life. Everything in your life begins twice. First in your mind, then in reality. That is why mastering your mind is the greatest investment you will ever make. If your thoughts are weak, your decisions become weak. If your decisions are weak, your habits become weak. If your habits are weak, your future becomes weak. Everything begins inside. That is why this final lesson matters more than any other. Listen carefully. Your mind is like a garden. If you do not intentionally plant discipline, weeds will grow. Those weeds have names: fear, doubt, excuses, comfort, negativity, self-pity, procrastination, comparison. They grow naturally. Success does not. Success must be cultivated every single day. Never assume your mind will stay strong without training. Just as muscles become weaker without exercise, the mind becomes weaker without discipline. Train it daily. Feed it wisdom. Challenge it with difficult work. Strengthen it with responsibility. Protect it from unnecessary negativity. That is how silent winners think. They understand that mental strength is not a gift. It is a daily practice. Remember this. Every morning you have two choices. Train your excuses or train your discipline. You cannot train both. One becomes stronger. The other becomes weaker. Choose wisely. Listen carefully. Your future does not depend on one perfect decision. It depends on thousands of disciplined decisions. Wake up on time. Keep your promises. Finish difficult tasks. Speak with purpose. Control your emotions. Respect your time. Protect your focus. Repeat. Again, again, again. The people you admire are rarely extraordinary because of one big moment. They became extraordinary because they respected ordinary moments. One disciplined morning, one focused afternoon, one productive evening. Then they repeated that process for years. That is mastery. Most people underestimate consistency. They want dramatic change. They ignore daily improvement. But daily improvement always wins. 1% better every day becomes a completely different life. That is the power of consistency. Listen carefully. Never allow temporary pleasure to steal permanent success. Your mind constantly offers easy rewards. Scroll a little longer. Sleep a little more. Eat a little more. Quit a little earlier. Those decisions seem small, but they shape your identity. Every small decision says something about the person you are becoming. Ask yourself before every important choice, does this decision strengthen my future or weaken it? That single question can change your life. Because awareness creates discipline, and discipline creates freedom. Remember that. Discipline creates freedom. People believe discipline is restrictive. The opposite is true. Discipline gives you choices. Financial discipline creates financial freedom. Mental discipline creates emotional freedom. Physical discipline creates health. Time discipline creates opportunity. Everything valuable grows through discipline. Never run from it. Embrace it. Listen carefully. There will always be people who doubt you. Ignore them. There will always be distractions. Avoid them. There will always be setbacks. Learn from them. There will always be fear. Walk through it. Nothing outside you should become stronger than what exists inside you. That is mental mastery. The world will always be noisy. Opinions will always exist. Criticism will always appear. Comparison will always tempt you. Protect your peace. Protect your attention. Protect your standards. Your greatest responsibility is not impressing other people. It is becoming the strongest version of yourself. Every single day, never compete for attention. Compete for growth. Never compete for popularity. Compete for excellence. Never compete with another person's timeline. Compete with the person you were yesterday. That competition never ends, and neither should your growth. Listen carefully. One day people will call you lucky. They will see your results. They will admire your success. They will notice your confidence. But they will never see the mornings you chose discipline, the nights you kept learning, the temptations you refused, the fears you conquered, the excuses you destroyed, the promises you kept. Success always hides its preparation. Silent winners understand that. That is why they never chase applause. They chase mastery. Mastery lasts. Applause fades. Remember everything this audiobook has taught you. Your mind is not always telling you the truth. Fear predicts more than reality. Excuses disguise themselves as logic. Your inner voice can be reprogrammed. And today, you become the master of your mind. Carry these lessons into every area of your life. Into your work, into your relationships, into your health, into your finances, into your habits. Because a disciplined mind creates a disciplined life. A focused mind creates focused results. A powerful mind creates a powerful future. Never stop learning. Never stop questioning limiting beliefs. Never stop choosing courage over comfort. Never stop becoming stronger than yesterday. The world belongs to people who master themselves before trying to master anything else. Become one of those people, not for 1 week, not for 1 month, for the rest of your life. Because the greatest victory you will ever achieve is not over another person. It is over the weaker version of yourself. Every day you win that battle, you become freer, stronger, wiser, calmer, more disciplined, more unstoppable. Remember the final truth. Your mind can become your greatest enemy or your greatest ally. The choice has always been yours. Starting today, choose wisely. Master your mind. Master your habits. Master your future. And when you do, you won't just change your thinking. You'll change your entire life. Your mind will continue to test you tomorrow. It will tell you to wait. It will tell you you're not ready. It will remind you of your past, exaggerate your fears, and offer comfortable excuses disguised as logic. But now you know the truth. Thoughts are not commands. Fear is not destiny. Excuses are not reality. Every day, you have a choice. Believe the voice that keeps you small, or become the person who questions it, challenges it, and defeats it through action. Your future will never be decided by what your mind whispers. It will be decided by what you choose to do. Starting today, stop obeying every thought. Start mastering your mind. Because the moment you control your mind, you begin to control your life. Your challenge is simple. For the next 30 days, Question every limiting thought. Take one action that scares you each day and prove through action that your mind has been lying to you all along.